Hey guys, so this is going to be a SwiftUI tutorial where we're going to learn how to integrate Firebase, Google Sign-In with SwiftUI. So here on my computer screen, I have an example application running in the simulator. This is just a typical login screen, a logo and some text, and the Google Sign-In button that we will be learning how to implement today. So here on this button, you should be able to tap on it, continue, and it should bring up a screen where you can type in your Google account credentials and log into your Google account. So I'm going to go ahead and tap cancel and quit the simulator. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started by first creating a new project. Go ahead and bring this down here. Oops. Okay. So, single view app, next, and just any product name. We can call it Google Sign-In. Let's do Firebase, Google Sign-In. Team name, organization name, the bundle identifier. Language is Swift and SwiftUI. Next, create Git repository. Create. I'm just creating a Git repository so that I can post this code later on GitHub. Okay, so now that this is set up, we can go ahead and get started by looking at the Google documentation for authentication using Google Sign-In on iOS. So here we can see that we have two dependencies or two libraries that we want to include: Firebase Auth and Google Sign-In. So we're going to be using this. We're going to be doing this or installing these dependencies using CocoaPods. So let me go ahead and go back to this application. Oh, and by the way, so this is the firebase.google.com docs auth iOS, because we're building an iOS application, and Google Sign-In. Okay, so let's go ahead and install those two dependencies using CocoaPods. So one of the easiest ways is to control-click on our project here, show in Finder, and I'm going to go ahead and open up a terminal at this folder here. New terminal at folder. Okay. Right. So pod init. Oh, we're in the wrong folder. So I'm going to go cd into the higher level directory. And I'm going to type in pod init. So now if you see in the Finder for where this project is located, we have a pod file. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this pod file here. So the two pods that we want to install are the pod Firebase Auth and the pod Google Sign-In. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save that. Okay, and now in our terminal, we can go ahead and type pod install, and this is going to go ahead and install those dependencies. All right, so we've installed those dependencies. And now in order to be able to use that project, we're going to go ahead and close our current project. Close this. And in the Finder for this project, right here, We're going to go ahead and open up the workspace app. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring that down from my second monitor. All right. Okay, so now we are in our workspace. So let's go ahead and go back to the documentation. So if you haven't yet connected your app to your Firebase project, do so from the Firebase console. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. I'm going to go ahead and create a project. Actually, let me go ahead and go back to the doc. I'll leave that tab open, and I'm actually going to open up the Firebase console in the tab. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and create a project. Let's type in our project name. Any project name works here. We'll call it Google, call it iOS tutorial. Continue. And continue. Accept the Google Analytics terms. And accept this as well. Create project. Okay, continue. All right, so now in our iOS project, we're gonna go ahead and get started by adding Firebase to your app. So I'm gonna type in, or click on this iOS. All right, so the bundle ID is what we created earlier. So this is the bundle identifier that we're going to copy this. Command C, place that right here. Call it whatever app you want. Say Google demo. Google sign-in demo. App Store ID, we don't need it. And register app. Okay, time to download the Google service info.plist. Save it anywhere. Save it in iOS dev. Or let's actually save it in the app for this. So I think it was Google sign-in demo. Actually, let me go ahead and check that. Google sign-in, Firebase Google sign-in. We'll save it right here. Save. Okay, so as you can see, we want to move this Google's info.plist into our app. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy that. Or I'm gonna go ahead and drag this into our application. Right there. Finish. Actually, let's go ahead and just bring it one down. There you go. Okay, next. We already created our pod file. We already opened that pod file and added the pods that we needed. Next. Okay. So this is to install the Firebase into our application, which we'll be doing. Firebase, so this is in our app delegate, and Firebase app.configure. Yep, so these two lines are code here. So import Firebase. Actually, where is that? In our app delegate. So import Firebase. And the next line is the Firebase app.configure. Copy that. Class app delegate. Did finish with launching the app. So type right here, Command V. Okay. So now that we hit tab next, and we can go ahead and skip this step. We don't need that right now. Okay. So now that's figured out, let's go ahead and go back to the documentation. So now that we've connected our app to the Firebase project, then enable Google sign in the Firebase console. So in the Firebase console, let's go back to the Firebase console and open the auth section and allow Google sign in. Oops. Authentication. Set up sign in method. And we're going to allow Google sign in. So I'm in at luminaryid.com. So once that's placed in there, we can go ahead and click save, and this will save our information. So now we can see that Google login has been enabled. All right, so once that is set up, we can go ahead and we finished step number 3, enable Google sign-in the Firebase console, the auth section, and in the sign-in method, we've enabled the Google sign-in method. Click save. So we can go ahead and end the video here, and in the next portion of this video, we will get started with step number 1 and actually go through the code and set up Google sign-in the app. All right, thank you.